Central Valley Talk is about what's good about Fresno, what's good about the Valley. And talk about what's good about Fresno and the Valley is Keith Hartman, a wedding photographer.
Yeah, Mike, it's great to meet you, and
Welcome.
I appreciate the invitation.
That's quite a specialty.
It is, I think so. It's a specialty that requires a lot. I think a lot goes into it, you know.
Well, anybody thinks they can be a wedding photographer, right? And we're going to find out the difference in just a few minutes, because we have photographic evidence of what the difference is. That you had training and experience and done dozens or hundreds or thousands of weddings, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Anything ever go wrong?
At weddings, something you just plan for something should go wrong or would go wrong, right? It happens, absolutely, it happens, yeah. And I could tell you stories.
Well, that's the idea of having somebody who's done so many weddings, that your experience of kind of rolling with the punches, so to speak.
We definitely did that. We just had one this weekend. We were up in Lake Tahoe, and we did that. You know, we had to roll with the punches and calm down the bride and groom. Say, it's okay, everything's going to work. We'll just flip these two things, and it's perfect, and it works out. So. I
used to do weddings as a classical guitarist. I did hundreds
and
hundreds and hundreds of weddings. Same thing. When things started going wrong, I would just say, hey, like it's my job, right? I say, hey, there's one star here today, and it's a bride. She's
Absolutely.
late, don't worry, everybody take a breath, and it's going to happen. They always show up, right?
It does, yeah.
Almost always. Should we look at some of your photos?
Sure, absolutely. I don't know what they'll show on the screen, but I did bring a few things today.
Let's look at this before we go to the photos.
So this is
it's a big box.
Big wedding album.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, I think I'll spin this.
Yeah,
maybe that'll work better for our viewers. And open this up. So this is a wedding album.
And the wedding album goes in there.
Yeah, and the wedding album goes in the box, which is leather bound and covered. This is a book that's leather bound as well as covered in what they call their crystal glance. Those that are familiar with Graffi Studio out of Italy will know their product. This is a little bit more of their higher end product. And I'm moving this because I can see the reflection.
Yeah.
But
because of our technology, the greens don't pick up that well. But when we look at your photos, we'll be able to see them.
So as we open this up,
oh my gosh, they're printed right on the page. It's an actual book.
It's an actual book printed on the page.
Yeah, I've never seen this.
This is all what we call a lay flat album. Let me skip back here a little bit. I want to show you something as well. Something that we do and we're really popular for is most of our brides request this type of edit, and this is what we call our blended style. So we actually blend the photos from one to another. It's not just placing them on a page. Yeah. So we tell the story, but we try to tell the story in an artistic, beautiful way. So we blend the photos across the page.
So you're telling the whole story with the book.
Absolutely. We tell the whole story of the wedding day, from getting ready through the toss of the garter and bouquet.
The colors are just incredible.
Yeah. I realize some of those greens might not be showing.
Believe me, I'm seeing it live here. It's just absolutely beautiful.
But this is...
the sky, you capture the sky and sunset?
Yes. So we got the sky, the sunset. That which isn't showing is basically a green lawn. And our bride and groom, which is another story and how we do that and go about it, but it's a lot of fun.
I think we can see some pictures as he puts on the screen if you want to talk about them a little. Here's a bridal party, it looks like. Oh,
absolutely. Actually, that was from this weekend.
Okay.
We did this by
it's the one on the right.
Having the girls just get have some fun together and pull together and give the bride a big hug, and there's different ways we do that. We do the standard posing as well, but we also like to have fun.
It's really capturing that they are having fun. It's not real stiff pose thing.
Exactly.
And this is their car,
this is a different wedding here. This is a bride and groom, kind of an exit. We had them stop the car there, and the veil was blowing in the wind, and I had them celebrate, and we caught a great shot using lots of different techniques.
Did you plan the sunset and everything, or you just?
Actually, we did. We worked on that for timing and when we would get out, and there's an app for that, so you figure out where where the sun's going to be and that sort of thing. Coincidentally, this is actually the same couple. This is actually an engagement photo, which we had planned a sunset for that as well. We like to have fun with lots of posing. The next photo up was really interesting. That was actually done. I often get asked at this photo. It hangs in our studio, printed on metal. And this I get asked about a lot. It's that fog that you see back there is actually a smoke machine that we brought, so that it's actual fog in the back. It's not a digital application of any kind. And then what we did was backlight the smoke and then light them from the front as well. And it's a trick we use in the camera where we gel the front light in yellow, and then when we color correct it, or amber I should say, color temperature orange, and then it brings the smoke in a blue color. So it's a really fun shot that gets a lot of attention. So this was just a few weekends ago with a bride out at Evergreen in Tulare.
Well, it's the lighting. I can't believe every one of yours has perfect lighting.
You know,
we
thank you. That's something that I have. I am a light seeker, and I love light and playing with light, and that's really what differentiates us in the wedding photography. Is we find great light and or produce it and add light.
Okay.
So
find a way to get it in.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
smoke, produce and add.
Yeah,
smoke.
whatever we've got to do to pull off epic shots for our brides and grooms. This was up at Clovis Castle with this bride and groom. You can see we kept that sky as well.
Yeah.
So we really try hard not to blow out our skies. It just adds so much more drama to a photograph.
That's a wedding dress.
Yeah, a bride with a wedding dress is actually taken up on a balcony, and she's walking across the marble floor there.
Planned? I mean, you said she's walking, I'll just click this picture.
That was
right?
planned, yeah.
Yeah, that was planned. Okay.
Quite honestly, that was planned and lit. Well done. The next one coming up is a detail shot. This is ring shot that we had fun with lighting and some things that were there. We always just find something creative there and do that on the spur of the moment.
Yeah, and now this one is in the book.
And this, we saw this in the book, and this probably shows better.
Now you can see the colors.
Yeah, this probably shows better on the screen now. And that was a lot of fun. This wedding was down in Carmel, and the interesting story is you can see this is a storm actually coming in. And this was actually done the day before. We did a two-step process on this photo. We showed up and we thought, we know tomorrow it's going to be raining and gray. And so I took a series of images here to capture the sky. And then the next day I placed our bride and groom in that same spot, took their photo and pulled them all together to pull this off because the sky was quite gray and gloomy the next day.
It gets that way in Carmel. You can never plan it.
Yeah.
But the clouds, everything are just absolutely, you got the bluest of blue skies and the greenest of green.
A lot of fun.
Whitest of white. So
the next image coming up is a lot of fun. My wife took this image. Kudos to her.
What's your wife's name?
My wife's name is Paula. We do this together.
So it's Keith Hartman and Paula Hartman.
Keith and Paula Hartman. And this image was taken in the bride getting ready room. So
makes her look like an angel.
Just a few weeks ago. Very fun. I'm really happy with that shot. This is actually the same wedding. This was the bride getting part of her getting ready, and they had this really cool tub. And I looked at her and said, would you mind getting in the tub? And she looked at me a little funny, and I said, because I trust you, whatever. And she got in the tub, and we got this image. Paula's there, actually lighting this off to the right hand side.
Now, you're absolute experts at getting images. I will testify to that. I saw the photographic evidence, and I've seen so many iPhone weddings lately.
Yeah, right.
Now, iPhone's an HD camera, but you like you said, you see the light, and you get, hey, step over there, and you get this beautiful light coming down and things like that. You have the eye for that.
Yeah, you do. You really have to learn to see what the camera's going to see. The camera actually sees differently than we do. And so that's an art or a skill. Once you get that down, it really helps. And not everyone has the budget for a professional photographer, but for those that do, it's certainly worth it.
If you want really, really, really good stuff, this is where you go. Okay, so the pictures are one thing, you get the pictures, but now there's a presentation afterwards somehow, in either a book or what else?
Absolutely. We do that. We deliver images in many ways. One is a password-protected web gallery, which is not unique, but it's a wonderful thing that's done in today's wedding industry, as well as we deliver it on a really cool wooden USB. It comes in a wood box, so it's really fun and kind of fancy. The gals really like it. The brides get excited about it. So we deliver them that way as well. Then we also deliver a slideshow, the images set to music. So that is delivered in high definition. And then if they so choose, there's lots of different things we can do in albums today. The custom albums are incredible. I often joke around and say this is not your mama's wedding album. It certainly doesn't look like what mine did, where you slide the images in and that sort of thing. So all of that's available. I did bring one other thing, Mike. I'd like to show you.
That's what I was leading up to.
I thought
the delivery of the pictures.
So here's something that's kind of new and unique. This might get a lot of reflection in it. But this is actually, these photos are printed on acrylic. There's an acrylic back in this section, as well as acrylic here that is mounted on foam core that gives it a 3D effect. So we had a lot of fun with this one. You saw some of these images, but by pulling these lines together, visually gives it a lot of interest and appeal. So that's printed on acrylic that really gives it just kind of a work of art.
What a great piece to hang in your home. It's never going to get old. It's never going to get tired. It's just going to always be a beautiful piece.
We offer this in something we call our crystal collection. So we have the crystal mounting for the wall and then the crystal glance in the wedding album as well. So it all kind of ties together. So that's kind of how we do that.
Are you Fresno-based?
We are. We are Fresno-based. We actually are based out of a home studio. We have a rather large room that's all dedicated to photography, and we do it that way to keep overhead low, and so that we can deliver a higher quality of product, but really at the price
not having to add costs in for big studios.
Absolutely. It allows us to do that and to be competitively priced, but yet have the quality of somebody who's
now, if we have a viewer and some of our videos go on YouTube and they're there forever, somebody sees, oh, these guys are good. How can they reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website, you'll find us on lots of different weddings, our wedding wire, as well as our website, which I believe is on the screen. KeithHartmanPhotography.com is our website, where you can click on to contact us there as well, and it sends us an email, or send us a direct email as well at Keith@KeithHartmanPhotography.
KeithHartmanPhotography.com is all you need to know.
That's it. That's all you need to know.
You'll find a link
everything
there.
directs you from there.
And phone numbers would be there. And
everything, everything from there.
And of course, sometimes it's hard to get to the phone calls because you're either doing pictures or out doing a wedding, but the email is great.
The email is really the best way. Actually, once the wedding died down the other night, I was able to get back to a bride that said, "Hey, we're at a wedding, and I'll get back to you soon." So, it's very easy today to stay in contact.
So if they booked you, they said, "We need you this weekend. Can you do it?"
No, actually, we're booked through pretty much through the mid-December of this year, and we're starting to fill next year.
And that's the point we always try to get to on this show. If you're getting married in a year, it's time to really talk to people, I would imagine.
Yes, absolutely.
Start getting people locked down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one thing that can help brides, moms that are helping, and grooms, is definitely think about a year out, so that you get your first choice on venue and dress and photographer, those sorts of things. I think that's a great tip.
If they're interested in talking to you, where does it start? Do they come to your studio, or?
Absolutely. Usually, Mike, we get emails kind of back and forth, and we get a feel for what our pricing is and what we do, and then they come and meet us with an appointment at the studio, and we kind of go from there. We always tell brides it's a good tip too that when you're hiring a photographer, you're not just hiring somebody that takes pictures. They're the person that is there with you the most throughout the whole day and will help to make that day go by hopefully smoothly. And so meet with people and make sure it's somebody that you connect with so that your wedding day goes smooth and it's enjoyable. But connecting with them, I think, is very important.
And that's where our Central Valley Wedding Show YouTube page is helping, because to hear you talk, see you talk.
Yeah, it's a fabulous thing. Absolutely.
They know you get a feel for your personality and your professionalism and stuff like that. So we appreciate it. Anything else you want to add before we're out of time?
That's basically it. Just what we do is unique in that the quality of the images. But the other thing that we do is by having my wife involved is there's 2 photographers. And we have her, she goes in with the gals during the getting ready. Then I go and work with the men. And by putting those together, then we're able to tell the whole story, and mostly the bride then feels more comfortable. There doesn't have to be a man in the room with all the girls. So
now the pictures, we saw some beautiful pictures.
Thank you.
Would you see things like that on your website?
Absolutely. Most of those are on the website, as well as a great deal many. I would also add that that is actually the level of work that you can expect too. We're not just throwing up. We're certainly throwing up some of our best photos. I will tell you that. But we get that with every wedding, so we get great images with every wedding. It's incredible now with digital. You can do so many. There's so much you can do. So much of what we're doing is in camera by use of lighting today. And again, with the digital allows us to do things in camera that we couldn't do with film. So
It's Keith Hartman. Go to KeithHartmanPhotography.com. I know a lot of people are watching at work and trying to sneak watching the show while they're at work when they're not supposed to. If you can't track down Keith Hartman or you didn't get the information, call us up here at Central Valley Talk and we'll put you in touch with KeithHartmanPhotography.com. We'll be back with more of the wedding show right after this.